Well, I knew this was coming. So now you have Cassie. Cassie's being sued by one of the former ex-workers, Clayton Howard, one of the guys that was torpedoing her, right? She, she got to understand why she was pregnant. She said that she was victimized by Diddy and all that, and we saw the video that was on a continuous loop of Diddy kicking and, assaulting her, right? But when the guy, whatever his name, the Punisher, and this other guy, Clayton Howard, they got on the stand and said that she wasn't no victim. They got up there and testified under oath and said that she was enjoying it, that Clayton even met up with her continuous times without Diddy, right? And how she pulled the condom off and gave him an STD and all these different things. Now, we know that she got like a $30 million settlement from Diddy. She also got another $20 million from the hotel. Now, Clayton is saying, listen, I should get a part of that because I was victimized by you, right? And if you were still going back to Diddy, I was going back to you. So now it's just a whole bunch of stuff. So he's been fighting, to get a judge to allow him to sue. So now check this out, right? Let's get right into it, right? It says here, judge allows lawsuit service to Cassie Ventura by mail after failed attempts. Man who is suing Cassie and got her served recently with judge's help says she was a 304, made continuous conscious decisions and should not be left off the hook. He claims she should have been named as Diddy co-defendant and that both of them should have been held accountable, right? Man, this guy, like he coming forward, right? So it goes here a few years into Miss Ventura's relationship with Mr. Combs. The suit says he began coercing her to engage in a fantasy of his called voyeurism, in which she was directed to have sex with a succession of male prostitutes, while Mr. Combs watched and did some nasty stuff, took pictures and shot videos. According to the suit, Mr. Combs called these encounters freak-offs, which involve costumes like masquerade, masks, and lingerie. They continue for years, taking place at high-end hotels across the United States and in Mr. Combs' homes. The suite says that he instructed Ms. Ventura to search the website of escort services to procure male ex-workers. Illegal substances were supplied at the events with Ms. Ventura's suit says she took because they allow her to disassociate during these horrific encounters. According to the suit, Mr. Combs would delete videos from these incidents that had been shot on her phone. But Mr. Combs told her he still had access to those videos, and on a flight once made her watch. Made her watch a video she thought had been deleted. Man, this thing is crazy, man. This thing. In one example, the lawsuit says that during a freak-off at a Los Angeles hotel in 2016, an intoxicated Mr. Combs punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye. He fell asleep and she tried to leave the room. So I guess this is when he count the hotel footage when he ran out of the hotel and they caught her. He caught her and he beat her up, right? So this guy Clayton, he's suing, man. So when it gets down here, you can see Clayton active participation. Howard claims that Cassie was not just a victim as portrayed in her own lawsuit and Diddy criminal trial, but an active and engaged participant in manipulating and exploiting escorts, physical harm, and STDs. He alleged that Cassie forced herself on him and that she gave him an STD. He also claims he was ordered to get off on this stuff for hours on end, causing physical injury. Abortion claim. Howard alleged that Cassie got pregnant during one encounter and that she aborted the child without the knowledge of consent. Manipulation. He states that Cassie embraced Diddy's power and used it to manipulate him and to participate in these encounters. Damage sword. Howard is seeking $35 million in damages along with full recovery for past and future medical expenses and mental health treatment and costs. So a lot of people are upset with him because he's coming out now and he's saying that he was violated by Cassie, right? So he's being clowned. So he took to his social media and he said this.
So today, audience, Cassie was finally served with the lawsuit against her. A lot of women out there believe that Cassie's a victim, and you believe Cassie's a victim because of the domestic violence she faced. Again, like I've said in a lot of different interviews, domestic violence is horrible and no woman deserves to be abused. But Cassie was not abused to be in no sexual encounters, people. That is a factual lie that was manipulated by the U.S. Attorney's Office. People, you may not want to believe it because Cassie's a beautiful girl and she was young when she started this, and many of you women who don't look like her look up to her because women look up to beautiful women. But just because a woman is physically attractive, it doesn't mean she's a damn superhero, people. Cassie's not a superhero because she's physically attractive. Cassie's a human being. Cassie, like every other woman on this planet, is capable of deception and manipulation. Cassie lied, people, and I'm not going to sit back anymore and pretend like this is not what it is. Many people hate Sean Combs because of the horrible things he has done to a lot of people. Audience, I am not a fan of Diddy. He has done horrible things to people. But I am a supporter of those who may have been set up and maliciously prosecuted. Diddy was guilty, but the way he was prosecuted was wrong because the co-conspirator of that RICO was Cassie and James.
So this brother, he came back and he said, Cassie is not a victim. Domestic violence isn't like the game of Monopoly. You don't get a get out of jail free card because you were abused. You do the crime, you do the time. Diddy, Cassie, The Reckoning, 50 Cent, right? So it gets this thing is real crazy because you have a lot of women now coming out and clowning him. So it's like only the woman can be a victim, right? A woman can say, hey, this person did this to me, and that's it. Now, these guys, the DA brought these guys to testify. And the same people that they brought to testify are telling you, yo, she was an active participant. There are women out here that are really being abused. There are women out here that are really being harmed and hurt, right? She wasn't one of them in regards to the freak-offs, right? The situation that Diddy was doing, well, Diddy was never charged with that. Diddy's not in prison for that. If that's what they want to charge him with and send him to prison for assault, then send him that. But he's not in prison for none of that, right? So she ran with a story and cried those crocodile tears and was able to get away with it. So this guy now is saying, hey, I'm a victim. She gave me an STD. She was pregnant by me. Went got an abortion. They ain't tell me she did. Like she was a part of she was also a conspirator in this as well. Right? So he started to talk about, how everybody now is trying to come at him because he's voicing his opinion.
Every woman who wants to go into my DM and you want to tell me why Cassie was a victim, stay the hell out of my DM. Because, baby girl, let me tell you something. Hashtag you wasn't there. You can't tell me about Cassie's victimhood when you weren't even there and you've never even met the woman. And that's the sad part about many of these women in this biased Me Too movement and these advocates for domestic violence. Because so many women think that domestic violence vitiates any criminality, you're wrong. Domestic violence is not a get out of jail free card like Monopoly where you can get that card, get out of jail free and still collect $200. No, just because a man put his hands on you don't mean you couldn't have been a drug dealer. Just because this man put his hands on you don't mean that you willingly didn't kill somebody. Just because a man put his hands on you doesn't mean you are not a scammer. Just because a man puts his hand on him don't mean a woman can't be a hoe who likes large members and likes to sleep with a bunch of men. People, the probably the most damaging thing I'm about to say that people are not going to like is this. Audience, Cassie was a hoe. Cassie was a hoe who liked to sleep with guys who were good in bed, and I was one of those guys. It's a shame that I am being attacked, and all of these women want to make excuses for a woman who is a Cassandra Ventura was a hoe. She may not be a hoe anymore. She grew up, she grew out of it. People change. It's okay. But that time of her life, she was a whore. She liked to have schmecks. She liked to schmuck Enos. She loved all of that, people. She used to do it for hours, and Diddy did not make her. The only thing Diddy used to make her do was stop when she was going too long, and that's the damn truth.
So this man is suing for $35 million. And because you got this gender war and you got the feminism and you got so many different things, he has to be a liar. He can't be telling the truth at all. Cassie has to be a victim. She has to be a victim. But this is the thing. Cassie had a chance to leave and then she went back. She went back and she had sex with him while she was married to the dude. And mind you, she ended up having sex with that dude and having children, marrying that dude that Diddy hired to train her. Right? So, like, listen, this guy, the same thing he's saying now is what he said when he was on the stand. It's what he said when him and the Punisher dude was going around doing interviews. The stories are the same. It hasn't switched up. It hasn't switched up. He's been saying the same thing. And he's just saying, like, listen, man, right? Diddy's a horrible guy. And he is. Diddy should be in jail for fraud, for stealing money, for taking people's publishing, getting people to sign bad contracts, a lot of things. Abuse, all those things. He should be, right? But they didn't charge him with none of that because they didn't care what he was doing when it came to that, right? But this guy wasn't finished.
Now, the sad part is that as the actual victim of this conspiracy, that I still don't get the same respect as Cassie because Diddy put his hands on her because she stole his phone in the damn freak off and the man got caught on camera putting his hands on her. Suddenly, she's the Mother Teresa of domestic violence. People, this is a horrible misconception that is being totally manipulated by people because they need Cassie's domestic violence to hate Diddy. You really don't need Cassie's domestic violence to hate Diddy. People, there is a million different reasons to hate Diddy other than Cassie. People, you need to accept the truth of what this is. Cassie is not a victim of that RICO. She is most certainly a victim of domestic violence, yes. She is certainly a victim of domestic physical abuse, yes, people. But it's not because of those sexual encounters. It's because she was in a relationship with a super rich and powerful man who was also horribly toxic and a drug addict. Those are the recipes for domestic violence. When you're constantly in a relationship with someone who is drugged up all the time, emotionally imbalanced, and has a super ego, women, you're going to get your behind kicked. You know why? Because the second you don't do something that man likes, he's going to put his hands, feet, and legs up your behind and make you do it. See, you need to understand something, people. Rich men, they use money to control women. But once the money don't work, they don't have the finesse to control women. You know why? Because they've been using money their entire life to control women. This is when these guys get violent. People, I've been broke in my life and I've had money. I've learned how to bag women with no money and I've learned how to bag them with a lot of money. And the one thing I can tell you definitively is that my relationships that I started out broke and came into money with the woman were always better than the relationships I started out with a lot of money and then me and the girl started dating. Because people, you always have problems. People get used to people. Familiarity breeds contempt. Cassie was probably amazed at Diddy when she first dated him. She thought she was dating God, but after a while she realized that he was a fallible man and he was imperfect. And she realized all these things, people. Maybe for a while she overindulged in the freak-offs because of the sexual encounters. She assimilated some of the power of her man to dominate other people. I can tell you this for a fact because Cassie used to use Diddy to keep me in line in the room. People, once I realized it was Diddy, people, I was in pocket. I wasn't playing with Diddy. I knew what type of person Diddy was, and Cassie would use Diddy's energy and power to keep me in line, people. I know this for a fact, and I also turned the U.S. attorney.
I believe everything that this guy's saying. You know why I believe everything this guy's saying? Because I heard that audio of Cassie when she was on the phone threatening one of the, was it her brother? Somebody, I forgot who it was, but she was threatening their life because they had some videos. I saw it and how violent she was talking, how aggressive she was. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. You stayed 10 years with a guy that was abusing you. You kept going back. Now, this is the thing. If Puffy was broke as a joke and he worked at Kenny's Shoes, she wouldn't give Puffy the time of day. She gave Puffy the time of day because he had money. She had an ulterior motive. So she was willing to put up with the behind kickings because of what she could get from him. She was doing all those freak offs, but she was also enjoying the lifestyle, right? What about like your parents? You was young, like what, 19 years old? They hearing you getting abused, and they didn't make you come home. They didn't stop you from going. Like, come on, man. Like I was born tonight, but it wasn't last night, man. I believe this guy. He might not be 100% of everything he's saying ain't true, but where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And his story hasn't changed. He's been calling this thing out for a minute now, man. So now she's been served, right? He's coming for some of that money, man. She got like $30 million from Puffy and like another $20 million from the hotel, right? Man, listen, and he wants some of that chicken. So, and I know the other dude is gonna come out now. He's gonna come out now because once he see how this is playing out, he gonna come forward. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.